Chapter 2. Unseen Forces. The trees whispered secrets as Decima Wren stepped into the glade, each footfall muffled by a quilt of pine needles slick with last night's rain. The air here was cool and restless, laced with the musk of moss and the faint, metallic tang of waking magic. She didn't look back. The path she'd taken was already gone, swallowed whole by the ancient forest. The woods opened for her and her alone, and would close just as easily behind. Where the stone archway had stood, a tall, wounded presence humming with old power, there was only mist, the world holding its breath. Yesterday she'd felt the threshold's pull, the way it had seemed to vibrate with a kind of need. Now nothing, no doorway, no echo, not even a scar, just an uneasy silence pressed tight against her skin. She moved with deliberate care, the weight of memory and something sharper pounding in her veins. Her hand drifted to her side, just above, the hidden satchel where the shard pressed against her hip, its presence a quiet thrum in time with her pulse. Since the moment she'd claimed it from the ruins, it hadn't stopped vibrating, as if the stone itself remembered what she tried to forget. Power, memory, danger, woven together so tightly she couldn't tell, where one left off and the others began. Overhead, Serenfe circled in wide, slow arcs, her massive shadow sweeping over the glade, a constant, protective rhythm. The dragon's presence was both comfort and omen. Decima felt safer knowing Serenfe watched from above, but her dragon wouldn't linger unless there was true danger in the woods below. Wards were shifting. Old magic, restless as thunder, was beginning to stir. Decima paused at a twisted oak, its trunk slick with rain and veined with emerald moss. She laid her palm against the bark. The tree felt alive, warm, its magic meeting hers with a shiver of recognition rather than resistance. She whispered the spell, voice trembling just a little. Agorfe liber. The old words opened my path, sank into the wood. Moss peeled back beneath her hand, revealing ancient stones set into the soil, a hidden trail leading deeper into the heart of the woods. She hesitated. Something in the ground shifted, not under her feet, but deeper, beneath the old spells and roots. Magic unsettled. Her heart skittered. She turned, every sense reaching, but nothing moved. No birds, no wind, just the heavy hush of something watching. The air was tight. Her skin tingled with warning. She was not alone. Elsewhere, half veiled by the ancient tangle of yew and oak, Daniel stood at the crest of a mossy ridge, wrapped in shadow. He watched Decima below as if she were a secret only the forest could keep. The glade held her in its palm, her presence a spark of living magic against the damp green world. Every movement she made, each tilt of her head, each spell whispered to the trees, pulled at something raw and unhealed in him. Even now, after everything, he felt her like a hook behind his ribs. Her breath was his undoing. The way she moved sent currents of heat spiraling through his veins, fusing magic and hunger in a way that threatened to unravel his self-control. Nearby, Tunwil's silhouette shimmered in the shifting air, a great presence, unseen but never unfelt. The dragon's thoughts were a rumble at the edge of Daniel's mind, their soul bond as natural and restless as a heartbeat. "You're staring again," came Tunwil's silent voice, threaded with dry amusement. Daniel's lips barely moved. "I never stopped. She knows." He clenched his jaw. "She always knows." Down in the clearing, Decima knelt by the old oak, her palm pressed to bark damp and gleaming. He couldn't hear her words, but he felt the shape of the spell, the way her magic shivered through the glade. He'd memorized that cadence, the way her fingers trembled. When the force she channeled became too much for a mortal body to bear, Tunwil shifted, the faint sound of his wings a secret breeze above the canopy. "You want to go to her?" Daniel's whole body ached with it. "I do." "So go." He shook his head, keeping to the shadows. "If I touch her, I won't stop. I'll take her right there in the earth and rain." Silence, thick with everything unspoken. Then finally from Tunwil, "And she would let you." Daniel's throat tightened, a wave of longing that bordered on pain. "That's the problem," he whispered, voice frayed at the edges. Their bond was a living thing, wild and furious, raw from all it had survived and all it still demanded. Below, Decima stood, hair burning with captured light, power woven through every line of her body. Daniel's fists curled at his sides, fingers biting into his palms to keep himself from rushing down to her, from giving in. He slipped further back into the shadows. Not yet. The need in him was a wound that wouldn't close. but timing mattered. Soon, though, very soon, the silence in the woods pressed in, alive, not empty. Decima lingered beside the oak, feeling the echo of her magic as it pulsed through roots and stone. She shut her eyes, breathing in the scent of damp earth, letting her senses roam outward. The trees murmured with secrets too old for words. The hidden path at her feet shimmered faintly, as if reluctant to reveal itself all at once. A memory tugged at her. Her grandmother's hands, rough and steady, tracing ancient runes along her spine. You're never truly alone in these woods. Listen, sometimes the old magic listens back. Decima opened her eyes, feeling the truth in that. The forest's attention was a living thing, focused and heavy, like the air before a storm. She pressed on, stepping onto the revealed stones, following the trail as it curled deeper into shadow. Each step felt like a question asked of the land, each answer a shiver in her bones. Above, Serenfei's shadow drifted silently through gaps in the canopy, her wings beating in a slow, deliberate rhythm. The dragon's presence held the promise of fire and flight, and also a warning. There were things in these woods that even dragons watched with caution. The wards that had once kept such things at bay were thinning. She could feel it in the way magic pooled unevenly around her, wild and unpredictable. A sharp snap, a twig breaking, sent her heart thudding. She spun, eyes narrowing, breath caught in her throat. Nothing. The silence closed around her again. Tighter now, threaded with anticipation. Decima moved on, forcing her feet to stay steady, refusing to let fear dictate her path. Somewhere out there, she knew Daniel watched. She could almost sense him, the weight of his gaze, the energy that pulled at her like gravity. Part of her longed for him to step from the shadows, to close the space between them, to let their bond flare unrestrained. But another part needed this, the solitude, the ritual of proving she could walk these paths alone. The path wound deeper, the air growing thicker with mist and something older, a taste of iron, a flicker of magic riding every breath. Decima felt the shard at her side pulse stronger, resonant with the hidden power in the land. Whatever had been sleeping here was no longer at rest. She whispered a silent promise to the woods and to herself. I will not run. Not from this, not from who I am. As Decima moved deeper into the heart of the woods, the world narrowed to the rhythmic thud of her boots and the relentless pulse of the shard at her side. The forest breathed with her. Every gust of wind, every shifting shadow, every subtle change in the light felt woven to her heartbeat. She sensed the boundaries of the old magic thinning, a veil stretched tight over secrets that wanted waking. Somewhere above, Serenfei's presence flickered, one moment a brush of warmth and reassurance, the next a chill reminder that not all the watchers in these woods meant her well. There were eyes in the branches, intent and ancient, watching her passage with unknowable motives. She paused just before the trail plunged into a tangle of yew and thorn, and listened. No birdsong, no scurrying fox or hare, only the slow, steady drip of water and the almost inaudible hum of magic rising from the stones beneath her feet. Behind her, unseen, Daniel lingered in the hush, his magic as restless as her own. She could feel his absence as keenly as his nearness, the invisible thread that tied them drawing tighter with every breath. The longing to reach for him warred with the knowledge that this path, this moment, had to be hers alone. A whisper brushed her ear, half breeze, half memory. You are the storm, and the woods will remember you. She stepped forward, letting the path guide her, refusing to give in to fear or doubt. The forest closed behind her, the moss curling gently over the stones, until even her footprints were gone. Far above, thunder rumbled, a promise, a warning, a call. The unseen forces that shaped this land were moving, and Decima moved with them, ready or not.